Hey, thanks for checking us out. This is Sports and Other Stuff. You can find us on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We have a new episode every week. We have more than 100 in the can, so check it out. Thanks for being a part of it. Just subscribe. Thanks a million.
T-Dog, J-Boy, and me, I'm Lugs. Our pride and joy is pumping our mugs. Be careful, kids, it could get rough. We're flipping our lids on sports and other stuff.
Welcome to Sport Weasel Central. I'm Lugs.
And I'm J-Boy.
And I'm T-Dog.
Yes, sir. What a weekend. This is Sports and Other Stuff. How are you doing tonight? We have a winner. The Rams capture the Lombardi Trophy. The win now. Formula works. Cooper Kupp is your game's MVP. So let's talk about it. Let's get at it. Lugs, T-Dog, good to see you boys. Your thoughts on the big game, as Howard Cosell would say, the big game. Your thoughts?
Well, it was entertaining. It had some good tension throughout. I think just an overall view was it was decided by the defensive line of L.A., really. And Cooper Kupp, you know the ball is going to him. How can you not stop it? It was just wild.
Right.
So, but a very entertaining game, and ratings-wise, it was up from last year. And so, and what's to complain about?
You got some numbers on that? I didn't see it. The numbers, ratings
it's
numbers.
More than 110 million TV, and then add another like 8 or 10 million, I think, online that watched it online. So it was like 112, 114 million.
Those are real digits, real numbers.
Well, and worldwide, who knows?
I enjoyed the game. I thought it was it had a good mix of offense and defense. Actually, both defensive lines played well for both teams. Obviously, the Rams, in terms of pass rush, got so hot that maybe it kind of quailed what the Cincinnati Bengals defense was doing. But you look at what the run defense did for the Bengals. They only allowed 43 yards rushing for the game.
Crazy.
And it didn't matter if it was Michelle. It didn't matter if it was Henderson. It didn't matter if it was Cam Akers, who I still don't understand why they're having a guy who just came back from Achilles tear be your starter. But still, didn't matter. None of them could run. That being said, the game came down to mainly those D lines and the quarterbacks, and both quarterbacks were a little up and down. Stafford started hot. They scored a touchdown on 2 of their first 4 drives. And the first touchdown was a slot fade to Beckham, where, again, that just shows you just in the short time how quickly Beckham had assimilated to that offense, and just Stafford just high pointed it. And Beckham showed his hands late and caught it over the DB. And then the second touchdown, even though the run game wasn't working, it did help in terms of it was on a run fake where he bootlegged it out. And then he threw it to Cooper Kupp, who ran it up and out. And again, I'm not faulting Eli Apple. Eli Apple was coming down to crash on the run, and then by the time he never got out, it was a pass. It was too late. Cooper Kupp was running free. The first big turning point in the game, though, was obviously when Beckham went down, which I now think has been revealed that torn ACL. Because right at that point, it felt like the Rams might have really taken over this game and were going to really control the whole tempo of the game. And once he went down, they essentially only had Cooper Kupp because they were already down Robert Woods.
Right.
They already were missing Higbee, their starting tight end. Actually, there were Bishop, who played most of the game. He was the third tight end. Their second tight end got injured as well. I believe he had a shoulder harness. And then the second big turning point where it really felt for a long period of time the Bengals are going to win is Joe Burrow hitting Higgins down the sidelines on a great pass. Obviously, it was definitely offensive PI.
Do you think so?
I mean,
that fake
but
mask, you mean?
but yeah,
Wow.
yeah, where he essentially might have like corkscrewed his head off, and I don't know if there was a soda or something in Jalen Ramsey's body that would have fallen out. But
Wow.
And then the very next drive after that, the Rams, the Rams. That's when Stafford threw the interception where it deflected off of the receiver's hands into Awuzie's hands, and. I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight a few things for the Bengals. They really needed to score a touchdown.
Yep.
Because and the unfortunate thing is, it was pretty much there was one drive before the half where it kind of showed, but right on that drive where the Rams knew they couldn't allow them to score a touchdown, that's where they started unleashing. They started blitzing because for the game up to that point they were essentially just rushing forward. So they either were pretty much for the rest of the game, they were either sending a blitz, sending 5, or they were doing an overload where they had 3 people off, kind of shaded over to the side of the guard and one person free. So they knew one person was they were trying to get Aaron Donald one-on-one and Von Miller one-on-ones. And after that point, Burrow was just grasping for air the rest of the second half. I mean, he couldn't do a whole lot. So
yeah, it was painful sometimes to watch. I mean, when Joe Mixon has your one passing touchdown, that tells you something that you're having to razzle dazzle. But the Bengals had their shot there at the end. They really did. I don't understand. They got 9 yards on the one,
right,
and then after they couldn't. It was like, no, don't take that shot downfield now. Take another first down. Get yourself settled down or whatever. But they took that shot, and it just didn't work. He didn't have time. The receiver, it was just not – it didn't work.
Okay, and that leads me to ask this question. I thought the play calling on that series right there cost them the game. Not so much – I just thought, what are they doing? They've got their 2nd and 1, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1.
Yeah,
do you agree or not? I just thought it was something wasn't right. Something
weak. That was the weak point for Zach.
Zach Taylor.
But, yeah.
I was just going to say real quickly, I get in both teams. You could say there's hindsights, particularly on offense. I think the one thing that I find it's easy to go back and say, but you look at how well Mixon ran the ball.
Yeah,
in the game, he ran for 72 yards, I believe, on like 15 carries, and particularly with how good the pass rush can be for the Rams. I think on some of their big runs, they were in like double tight end. They were in 12 personnel. The Bengals. Why they didn't at least mix their personnel up more? I know Burrow likes being spread out and having 3 or 4, but obviously he's getting killed, and they need to at least change it up, try to protect him. Obviously, Mixon's running hot. So just try to get him involved to slow down the rush to, maybe you can get some larger shots off play action. I don't know if after that one hellacious hit to his knee, I don't know how badly maybe Burrow's mobility was destroyed after that or hampered, but it just felt like that was what they should have done. And I guess on the other side, again, I'm not going to completely kill Zach Taylor too. And I know it's been a theme of this year. I'm happy for I'm Sean McVay. After Odell Beckham goes down, it's just weird that besides that last drive, they are like, we're not going to go to Cooper Kupp, even though he's our only guy. Right. And I know some of that. Oh, you go.
No, Mr. All World. I'm going to say, well, he's standing there right in front of you. Number 10, there he is.
And you go to that last drive, they just force fed him. And it was a lot of curl routes. I believe the one big receiving play for, I think, 20-plus yards, I believe that was a post route. And, it's just bizarre that they waited till the very last moment where they needed to go to him. They finally like, all right, yeah, sure, let's go to Cooper Kupp. It's like, I don't.
It seemed to me like that was sort of a Matthew Stafford decision, really.
Oh, you're probably right. Good for him.
He was changing calls and stuff, you could tell he was changing calls. It was kind of like Sandlot football. Okay, Cooper, go down 5 yards and go to the right real quick. Bang. Ball would be there. I mean, he threw it one time. There were 3 defensive players around him. But he, it was like, and what was that, Skowronek?
Yes, Skowronek. Yeah.
Skowronek, yep.
I don't blame him for that interception so much, in that Skowronek didn't get to play a whole lot with Stafford. So they didn't have the same rapport. Stafford knows where to put it for Cooper Kupp, and Kupp knows where to be to catch it. Anyway, but it's unfortunate with OBJ. That's one of those injuries that, nobody was around him. The knee just buckled.
See, I'm going back. That was the turf again, man. You look at that cleat did not give. If that was grass and dirt, he'd have played.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do about this, but it's happening. It seems like this year, several. Get that cleat caught, doesn't give, knee goes, or ankle, or whatever. It drives you crazy. They got to do something about that.
Yeah. And it was unfortunate he got injured, but I guess I'll say the stars of the game for me, obviously, no-brainers. It's funny, for all these acquisitions in Stafford and Von Miller and OBJ, the 2 people that showed the brightest for the Rams were their homegrown guys. It was Aaron Donald, who essentially just took over the game. The last play that essentially ended the game on the 4th down, where Joe Burrow just kind of threw it haphazardly to P. Ryan to hopefully miraculously, and he didn't convert it. He got to essentially Burrow in 2.2 seconds. So to be fair to Burrow, there's nothing you can do. Like, if a guy's getting to you that fast, there's nothing you can do.
And don't you think that skirmish on the sideline where they went head-to-head, Donald, and I can't remember who, that got Donald changed his game from that moment on.
It turned on a light, yeah. And then just that last drive for what Cooper did. Not even think about it, on that fourth and 1 run. For him to be able to convert that, and then that touchdown, that was a combination of Stafford not looking at him until the very last second to keep the safety off him. And then he threw it back shoulder. And if you watch Cooper Kupp, this is why Cooper Kupp's so dominant. Go back and watch his feet. He to be fair to Eli Apple, everyone's going to get tortured a lot by that, because he faked that he was going to go in slant, and then he cut it outside, and then he jumped, and he knew that Stafford would throw him back shoulder, where Eli Apple's not 7 feet tall. He can't cover that much ground. So it was just a perfect play by 2 people that are simpatico.
And Joe Burrow sacked 7 times, ties a Super Bowl record. And I think another turning point, when was that? And I don't remember. Burrow throws a pass. It's dropped because, remind me who that was. He was looking ahead, and ball went right.
That was Higgins.
No, it was Boyd. It was Tyler Boyd.
And that was a 3rd down and long, wasn't it? And he just dropped the ball. I thought that was a huge turning point and took all the gas out of the Bengals game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, out of the Super Bowl, what I walked away with is they being the Bengals, have got to get themselves a good guard and a good left tackle. They've got cap space, so I think they need to. Orlando Brown is available, I believe. There are a couple other really good free agents that are available that they just got to do it. I thought Burrow, when that left knee buckled, I thought, oh no, here he is. Right knee was just repaired. Now left knee is gone.
Latest report is he doesn't need surgery, but that could change, I guess.
Yeah. But anyway, they've got to get themselves some offensive line help. And they've got at least $50 million in cap space, I think, was what latest I heard.
They'll probably go after, again, some of the names that are out there are, and again, some of these guys aren't young, but still, you're in a kind of a win now type of situation. They might go after Brandon Sheriff who was with Washington Commanders.